William, great to meet you. Thanks for taking some time to join me and celebrate the release of Prophetic's new integration with Handwritten, some really exciting technology. I'm Oliver, founder and CEO of Prophetic. Why don't you introduce yourself and then we'll jump in from there.
Absolutely. I'm William Cordwin, VP of Sales here at Handwritten.
Very good. So what Prophetic does, as viewers of this channel probably know, we find and analyze real estate development opportunities at scale, just make it really easy via our SaaS platform. But one of the issues we noticed is that our users like to do a lot of outreach to landowners and try and acquire off-market properties. But the efficacy of that is not that good when you're printing off letters, and it's a lot of time to print off a letter, hand address an envelope, and send it out. So a lot of folks are only sending 10, 15, 20 letters a month, but it's a numbers game. I mean, why not send 200 letters a month if you can get a higher conversion rate and get more developments in your pipeline? So that's where we're coming from. We discovered Handwritten. I was blown away by the technology, and so we decided to form a partnership. But I'll let William discuss that more. William, why don't you give us a rundown of kind of what Handwritten is, your guys' history, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you for the overview, Oliver. Definitely excited to be partnering with you guys as well, and in sort of a back-end capacity to help you guys fulfill the notes as you offer this or your own service to your clients, and definitely see this as a valuable win-win for everybody here. And just like you said, I mean, people don't get handwritten notes anymore, let alone send them. I think it's a very real reason for that. It's because of how much time it takes, right? And
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to argue the value of, does a handwritten note work? That's at least least the number of objections I'll ever get for something like that. But
Yeah.
in terms of how we do it, how we scale it, that's really where we came in. And we've been doing this for 10 years. We're easily the biggest player in the industry at this
Yeah.
point. We operate out of Phoenix, Arizona, and have about 200 robots that we're using to fulfill all these orders. And I mean, last year, easily wrote multiple millions of cards a year, and
Millions. Holy
continuing
cow.
millions, cards and envelopes. I mean, it's quite the process there, and we're making it even more efficient, automating systems to have invisible barcodes on the cards and envelopes to automatically match them and stuff them together, so we don't have to have people doing that, which in reality can cause errors.
Sure.
Things like that, where these sorts of things are going to help us to grow and maintain a good service for our clients as we scale and acquire more business ourselves, without sacrificing anything.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting about this tech is they're literally handwritten cards, right? So you have an ink on paper, and that's on the exterior of the envelope, and the individual message in a note. It'll bleed in the rain. It is indecipherable from human writing. And the question I got asked a lot when we were researching this integration from some of our users was, I mean, sure, it's handwritten, but the letter A is going to look like the next letter A, and it's going to be pretty clear that it's not actually a human's writing, but that's not the case. Each individual character is different. They have variants built in. So let's start there. How did you guys take a human writing style and translate that into a font effectively? Because I know you have like 30 different, quote unquote fonts you can choose from. So how did you train AI to do that?
Question, and I'll tell you, it's been a multi-year process. When I've been with the company for 6.5 years. When I started, we probably had 20 fonts, but they were we actually didn't have as much variation. So that was one of the biggest pieces of feedback we got, was that the lines were too straight, it looked too perfect. We took that very seriously, and put a lot of work into adjusting those sorts of things that now I don't know if you'll be able to really see on some of these sample cards here, but we do. Sorry, the blur. Oh, let me turn my blur off real fast.
Yeah, there we go.
You can see all the line warping and everything. It doesn't write perfectly straight. Like you said, there are plenty of variations for each different letter, usually 5 or 6 per font. And really, it's actually not even an AI process to generate them. It's pretty manual still at this point.
Wow.
That's hopefully changing soon, but right now, I mean, it's we have you fill out a 3rd grade level homework assignment. You'll write out your A's and B's and C's 5 times to get those
In
different
terms of folks
variations.
who are being used to train them, not individual users.
These would be if so this is an optional service that we can include if you'd like to recreate your own handwriting. So
Oh, cool.
99% of our users are going to choose one of our 35 fonts. I mean, we
Yeah.
have, cursive, print, all caps, messy, nice,
So cool.
any style that could fit anyone's needs there. So again, most of the time people will use those. Um, if not, we do offer the
Yeah.
ability to recreate it. It takes us a couple of weeks. But then from there, it's, theirs to use going forward.
Phenomenal. It's just such cool technology. And then so once you've got the handwriting style, you pick one of the 35 or however many are in Prophetic. I think we have about 10. You select that style and then you process the card, and we'll walk through that in a moment. But what happens then in your facility? So you get an order that comes through the API, and what happens from then to the letter in the user or the recipient's inbox?
I mean, we're really a full service shop at this point. We actually have a print shop in house as well. So, step one for us is printing the card designs. So we're printing these in bulk every morning to get the orders ready. From there, they are going directly to the handwriting machines, and we'll usually
And
have,
it's machines holding a pen?
yep, they're holding a real pen, and I could not find one before this call, but yeah, it's a brass pen, but it actually is a Pilot G2 ink cartridge. So it's, your most standard, gel pen that you could find in any sort of store. Most people will use, probably
Sure.
have around on your desk. Just nice dark blue ink, looks super authentic and realistic versus even any other colors. Like we chose blue purposefully because black doesn't look as realistic, or it's just a little bit harder to tell if it was
Yeah.
printed or written. Whereas blue is very clear to stand out. That, and like I said, it'll run in the rain, it'll smudge if you lick your finger and wipe it. All those sorts of things that really show people that this was done with a real pen, and
Yeah.
they won't know it was done by a robot, but they'll know it was handwritten because it gets real ink, it gets the real envelopes. I don't have a stamp on this envelope
Sure.
here, but we'll put real first class forever stamps on there
Yep.
so that it's not a metered mail or anything like that. That's a giveaway that it
Yeah.
was a marketing piece and not truly handwritten. So all those little pieces that go into it that um, you know help us see easily 3x times higher open rate and
Wow.
25% greater response rate than print mail. I
Wow.
mean,
Three
and
times higher open rate. That's outstanding. I didn't realize it was that high.
yeah, I mean, I would say we quote 99% open rate on the envelopes, but
Sure.
I would argue that it's 100. I mean,
Yeah.
unless somebody doesn't get it, would you ever throw away a hand addressed envelope? I mean,
Yeah. I want
I've
to know
never had
what's in
somebody.
there.
Yeah, no matter what, you're curious. I mean,
Yeah.
whether that's a response rate or not, but in terms of the open rate, absolutely, that's going
Yeah.
to come home with you and get opened, grab their attention, and that's what it's all about. Cutting through the clutter when there's
Yes.
so much else, not even just in your mailbox, but in your inbox and and yeah, it's just in your teams and Slack channels. I mean, there's always something going on to
Yeah.
grab your attention, and this is an easy way to go old school and really capture people's attention and in an authentic way.
Yep. And when it comes to prophetic and how we use it, I mean, think of the landowner who's owned a parcel for 5, 10, 20, whatever years, and they may or may not be ready to sell. But your job is to get in front of them and let them know that, hey, I'm willing to make you an offer. I'll make you a cash deal in 2 weeks, whatever that might be. And this technology allows you to get them to open it and get them to respond more. So really, again, it goes back to that numbers game. Why not send a bunch out? Why not get more acquisitions in your pipeline? And even if it doesn't move forward now, you can't reach terms, at least you now have that owner's contact info and you can keep fostering that lead over time. So once that letter arrives in your system, in my experience, the 8 letters I sent out yesterday, I think it went from receipt to processed in what, 6 or 10 hours or something like that. It was a pretty fast turnaround. And then that robot is writing the card, it's stuffing in an envelope, writing the envelope, and then it's being mailed out. And for our regions that we operate in, Oregon, Washington, and California, statewide, analyze any parcel, that card will show up in the owner's mailbox, the mailbox that is their tax notice address, in what, 3 business days generally, or how long does it take?
Yeah. Technically, it's 3 to 5 business days to the post
Sure.
office is what they quote us, but being as we are in Phoenix, I would definitely say the shorter end of that window.
Yep, absolutely. So it's a quick turnaround time. It's a hyper effective strategy. And we're just excited to roll it out. We're excited to get some folks to acquire land using this elegantly simple tool. But anyways, William, I super appreciate your time in joining us for this announcement today. I'll send you a bit more info after we're done here. But now I want to go ahead and jump into a demo of the system and how it works in Prophetic. So we'll catch up soon.
Thanks so much, Alec. Very great to meet you.
Likewise.
All right, take care.
Okay, so let's go ahead and send a letter to a landowner in Prophetic. First, we're going to look at the Estacada market here outside of the Portland area in Oregon. There's a lot of single family detached being built out here nowadays. But we're going to find an opportunity by, let's turn on our parcels and our zoning from here. Let's look at CMU. We see that this is a mixed zone type, but there's a 4,000 square foot minimum lot size. That's nice density for a subdivision. And then we can do single family dwellings, which are expressly allowed right here. So we're off to a good start with a 4.4 acre parcel. Now we're going to send them a letter and see if we can buy the thing. So we click on full analysis. We go into the lot section here at the top, and then we just click send letter. Once that opens up, you select your card style. Right now, we just offer 3. We're going to use the pen ink. Then you select your font. And again, this is human-based handwriting written with a pen held by a machine. So it is indecipherable from an actual human written letter. I like Jokester Jared. I think that's a good font. Looks very, very real. And then we've got our standard templates built out. And you can create more templates. You can delete them, edit them, whatever. But on the left, we see our standard template of hi, owner, first name, William in this case, which automatically pulls from property records. Hope you're well. I'm Oliver from ABC Homes. My team and I build quality homes for families in the city Estacada area. We'd like to discuss purchasing your land at address token, which is 31625 Southeast Hinman. We can make you an offer within a week. You know, here's my email, my phone, whatever. You can edit that template as you see fit. And you can see how it updates real time on the right with anything you put in. And then below, we have the ability to save and edit that template. We're going to use the sign off of my name. You can see it puts it separately at the bottom. And then we've got our return address. So similar to the templates, you can create, edit these as needed. We've got our standard corporate return address here. Then we've got a recipient address, and these are pulled directly from county tax records. So if you're looking at 123 Main Street, but their mailing address is 580 Northwest 23rd, it's going to send that letter to the mailing address on file so that they actually get it, because it might be rented by a tenant or who knows what's going on at the property itself. So if it's a corporate entity, 123 Main LLC, you can then edit that as needed and say, well, I know this is an LLC, but it's owned by William. Therefore, I'm going to put William's name on the recipient address. The address for their taxes is inserted below automatically. And you can always edit that if you find a better address somewhere else and you want to send them 2 letters, maybe to each location. So we've got the style, we've got the font, we've got the letter, we've got the return and recipient addresses, and we've got a preview here below. Finally, at the bottom, you've got your credits. So this is going to take 1 credit to send it. We've got 41 on our account. We sell them in packs of 50, so you can just get 50 added to your account whenever. We click order and click yes. From there, the letter will be processed and show up in their individual physical mailbox in 3 to 5 business days. You didn't have to hardly lift a finger. So your outreach volume can now go from 10, 15, 20 letters a month to 200. Why not? You want to fill your pipeline. It doesn't cost you much at all to do so. And if you get 1 hit, 1 acquisition through this system that you wouldn't have before, you're going to net millions of additional earnings. And the nice thing is that the system stays very organized. So let's assume we just sent a letter. The system will have a confirmation message around here. We jump into our pipeline where we see all of our individual parcels we've been inquiring about. And in our pipeline, we've got the individual letter icon. So here you can see that there was not a letter sent. There is a letter sent above. When you hover over that, it confirms it. And then we go to the project. Within that project, the letter icon appears. And when you hover over it, it says, here's the letter date it was sent. Here's who sent it. Here's who it was sent by, and the recipient return address as well. So all the info you need to rapidly address, did my teammate send a letter, or did I send them a letter 8 months ago? I can't remember. It all lives within that project right there. So it's a very effective way to get that pipeline growing, stay organized, and then you can send multiple. Let's say you're like, this is a great opportunity. I'm going to send them a letter every 3 months. Whenever you send an additional one, an additional icon will appear and it'll have that same summary information as well. So exciting technology. We think this will be a huge asset to folks looking to acquire land regularly. Drop me a line at oliver@propheticsoftware.ai if you'd like to discuss, and we'll go over all the tech in even more detail. All right, thanks everyone.